Community Action News with Rick Godley, CAN. Remember, when you can't, maybe together we can. Community Action News, CAN.
Rick Talk.
All right, your question is, describe a high-pressure situation where you had to make a split-second decision. What happened, and what did you learn from it?
You know, I've had more than one or two of them in 32 years. Are you referring to admin or combat or?
Just specifically the one that resonates the most on your heart that you think qualifies you for this position, a situation that would just define a moment of just high pressure. You had to respond right then. You didn't have time to think.
I pulled the trigger twice to save a deputy's life.
Okay.
That's what you want to know, right? That's what you're asking, right?
Yes, sir. All right. We're actually going to ask this question of all the candidates as well. I believe this is an important question. Kind of verify some experience and to kind of find out what your experience brings to the office of sheriff. So, Mr. Robinson, if you would.
I haven't had to go through this experience of what Mr. Barnett was saying. That would be a very tough decision. We as deputies face different things every day, different things to look at. And I do know that, you know, when we're responding to calls and we have sometimes split decisions to make in an instant, and we get scrutinized by that a lot by the public on certain things you have to make. I remember one time we were over at the old closed down school going through looking for a guy we had a warrant on. And when I rounded the corner, he was standing there with a knife in his hand. And I know it's not anything detrimental, but thankfully I did not have to shoot him. And it was the good, smart thinking of being able to disarm him and not get put in that situation. But there's many times that we've been put in various situations such as that, and I'm thankful that I have not had to pull the trigger on somebody, but if need be, sometimes that's what we're faced with.
Thank you. Mr. Cheatwood.
Well, I'll agree with Jason. I've in 42 plus years, I've never pointed my weapon at the person and pulled the trigger. I've been around it when it's happened. I've seen the aftermath of when it's happened. Nobody that goes to work there, from the sheriff on down, goes to work every day saying, hey, I think I'm going to shoot somebody today. That's the last thing that any of us want to ever have to do. Unfortunately, given today's time, that possibility is real, more so now than it ever has been. What I think we have to do is continually train our staff and have them prepared for that. I'm a training person. I taught at the academy. I taught recruits at the academy for 3 years. I'm a training person. I think they need to be trained. They need to be able to go through scenarios where they can make that split-second decision. It's not an easy decision. And when it happens, that's a decision they have to live with for the rest of their lives. So if it occurs, then the rest of us as a department, the sheriff on down, we have to rally around holding people up. We have to make sure that they're good physically. We have to make sure that they're good mentally. Because I can't say how it feels because I've never done it. But I do know that we have to take care of them if it ever happens again.
Thank you.
I'm not coming from a law enforcement background, so I can't say that I've ever had that type of situation exactly. And, you know, the service that these men have gave to the parish and the service that some of them have gave to their country. I appreciate it completely. I do feel like if a split-second decision was, if I ever had that come about, tough situation. Sure. You know, it's one of those things, and officers every day, and there's a lot of them here tonight, and with all respect, I appreciate all your service. Y'all make split-second decisions that can change your life completely and change the life of whoever you're trying to deal with. I feel like those decisions are greatly influenced by training. I feel like those decisions are greatly influenced by situation. And, you know, so to answer your question, not been in that situation myself, I know it would be a difficult situation. But if that was to come to pass, I would just hope that we make a decision based on training and ability.
Absolutely. Thank you. Chief Smith, if you would.
Being an elected official, a lot of it is split-second decision. You know, not just going to those calls, even just walking through Walmart and talking to people. You know, most of what we do is it's community service. You don't wake up in the morning knowing exactly what's going to go on and how it's going to go, how people are going to approach you and how you should approach them. But most of these types of decisions are split-second decisions. The main thing is to be educated on what to do, be confident on what to do, be trained, and be ready.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.